Come for a walk and talk with me and Luna. So, growing up as a kid and as a teenager, I thought I was unattractive. But looking back now, I don't actually think that was true. That was just how I felt. And that belief didn't stay small. It shaped how I saw myself, how I read other people, how I moved through the world. It became something I didn't even question. But as I got older, and especially when I started learning psychology, I noticed something. I became less interested in if I'm attractive or not, and more interested in what attraction is actually built on. And the more I learned, the more I realised it didn't match what I'd been telling myself all this time. A lot of our self-image comes from early experiences, comparisons, comments, school dynamics, all those small moments where we're trying to figure out where we fit in. And over time, the brain turns those moments into identity. Not, that was awkward, but this is who I am. At the same time, we're also being shaped by beauty standards. But the thing is beauty standards aren't objective truths. They are in fact repetition. What we see most often starts to feel like what is normal. And then what is normal starts to feel like what is attractive. So we end up comparing ourselves to something that was never an actual fixed standard to begin with. And that's where it gets confusing, because there's often a gap between how we see ourselves and how others experience us. You might think you're not attractive, but still get noticed, remembered, or complimented. And instead of that updating our self-image, the mind just explains it away, because old stories feel more true than new evidence. But attraction in itself is not a template. It's actually a personal thing. It's shaped by experience, personality, energy, and individuality. There is no one version of attractive. And over time, that changed something for me. Not how I looked, but how I saw myself. I stopped constantly comparing, and I started paying more attention to real life instead of assumptions. And now, at 29, I can say I feel attractive. Not because I changed how I look, but because I changed how I understood attraction. It's not objective, it's not universal, and it's most definitely not something you have to earn by matching some standard. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how close you are to meeting that social expectation. It matters just whether you feel aligned with yourself. Because that's the only standard that was ever actually yours.